Good morning. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Put this over here. Good morning, everybody. I'm going live this morning. I haven't told anybody. I was supposed to go live last night, but I ended up with a killer migraine. Like, I was fighting it all day, took some medicine, ended up just getting it all up. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go to bed. I wasn't up to cooking, especially I was going to be doing some deep frying and stuff. So maybe we can do that today. But I wanted to get on here, and now that I'm feeling better, and just kind of talk with you guys. If you're watching the replay, thanks for being here. I'm not quite sure what we're going to be talking about. I don't really have anything in mind in general. I just kind of wanted to kind of check in with you guys, see what's going on, kind of talk about what we're going to be doing this weekend. Socks is in here bumping the tripod if you see movement. What, baby? What? This is our middle cat, Socks. She's friendly. She just doesn't like being held. Oh, good morning, Edward. Hey, I haven't seen you in a while. Edward Lee, nice to see you. Good morning, Linda. Maggie. Oh my gosh, you're from Saudi Arabia. Did you know that, you probably don't know, that I grew up in Saudi Arabia? Like from when I was 4 to 11, I lived in Riyadh. I lived on an American compound there. So that's awesome that I have someone here from Saudi Arabia. Shalom alaikum. If you speak Arabic. I don't know if you do. Just because you're from Saudi Arabia doesn't mean you speak Arabic. But that's awesome. I'm so happy to have you here, Maggie. It's great that this brings so many connections all across the world, right? Like, that's awesome. We talked about date cake. Oh, okay. I'm from Seattle. Okay. Walaikum salam. That's so great. I love it when I meet someone who speaks Arabic. I can say that to them. I don't get it too often, especially in Montana. We have a few people here, but because we have, colleges and stuff. But that's awesome. What time is it in Saudi Arabia right now? Where at in Saudi Arabia? Date cake. I still need to make that date cake too. Good evening, Sharon. How are you? It's just nice to hear from you. You're live. I've missed your smiley face because I couldn't catch up on your live stream. Okay, well, I'm here now. I was supposed to go live last night, but I had a really bad migraine, and I was supposed to be doing some cooking. I try and do Friday night cookings, but I had to call it an early night, which I know that you guys understand. We all get that stuff, 3:30 p.m. Okay, yeah, you are quite ahead of time. That's awesome. You like living in Saudi Arabia? How long have you been there now? It's a long time ago from Seattle to Saudi Arabia. We went from Arizona to Saudi Arabia, But, oh, yes, baby. Sorry, I'm playing with my cat. Oh, I haven't tried StreamYard too much. Do you guys like it so far? Cat hair out of my coffee. One person's like, I can't believe you touched your cat and then ate food. I'm like, you pick cat hair out of my coffee and I still drink my coffee. Like, I'm just so used to cat hair. Oh, it's over here. Cat hair or dog hair and stuff, It's like, if you're an animal person, you grew up around animals, you're so used to that stuff. It's just like, oh yeah, dog hair and the ice cube. It's fine. 4.5 years. Okay. We are going back to the States this summer for good, though. Man, that'll be nice. That'll be a nice adjustment. Things have changed here a bit, that's for sure. How are food prices and stuff there? Do you have a compound, American compound you shop on, or do you just do local shopping? Because we had, I'm sorry, I meant a base. We had, my dad worked for Boeing, but my mom worked as a secretary on an Air Force base. And we got the perk of being able to go to the commissary and stuff there. So we were able to get a lot of American food, even though we lived in Saudi Arabia. So that was pretty nice. We'd be having barbecues and have ham and bacon and stuff. And people would be like, where did you get this? It was funny. We were like the cool family, Valerie, good morning. Don't feel bad about the cat hair. I don't. I'll just pick it out. There's some cat hair, whatever. I'm so used to it. I was born with dogs, I work with animals everywhere. It really is, Mallory. People are like, oh, that's so gross. I'm like, you must not be around animals because hair is just everywhere, especially big dogs. Oh my gosh. I don't even have dogs. I just got a hairy cat. Jack, he sheds a little bit, but he's got the short hair, so he's not too bad. But like German Shepherds or Huskies, whew, those long-haired ones. Yes, I agree, Maggie. It's going to be pretty bad here too, unfortunately. Like, it's just going to the store for a couple of things, and you're like, $40? Jeez, like, it's a crazy amount. Sorry, the cats are over here talking. How old's your kid, Maggie? Good morning, Jennifer. Happy to see you here. Did you figure out your cooking question? I had a quick glance at my comments, and I saw that you were going to ask me for a cooking question last night. But I called it an early night, and I slept good, guys. I think I ended up going to bed at like 6:30 when I was supposed to go live. I just laid down. I took Migraine. Well, actually, I took Tylenol PM to make sure I sleep, and then I chugged like a full thing of water, and I went to bed, and I woke up at 5 a.m. So I slept for a while. I can't math right now. I'm only a quarter of the cup into the coffee. All right. You gotta go. All right. Thanks for stopping by. Have a spring day too. It's raining. I was supposed to go to there's a vintage flea market, I guess it's called, where you just a vintage market. I don't think it's a flea market, a market that comes once or twice a year. And it's today, so it's actually raining today. It never rains in Montana. Let's see it out there raining. Cat butt. It never rains in Montana, but it's spring, so it does rain occasionally, and it's raining pretty good today. So I don't know if we're still going to be able to go to that. I wanted to. I wanted to take a date with husband and go do some, like, probably won't be able to buy anything. You know, we just paid rent, so money's tight always at the beginning of the month. That seems to be where a lot of our bills come out too, and then we're good for like the last 2 weeks of the month before rent, you know. But it'll be fun to just go there and look around. I was thinking about bringing the camera and kind of show the vintage market, but if it's raining, that might put a damper on things. So we'll see. It's not for 4 more hours, so maybe. Oh, hello, Paul. Welcome from Pennsylvania. Up to 70 today. That's pretty nice. At least I'll be home. I'll be union and get some pension someday. Oh, that's good, Maggie. That's good. 19 months now, so I want him to attend preschool back home. Okay. I get that. That should be good then. That's perfect timing. Are you going to come back to Seattle? Good morning, Lisa. Good morning, Out Rowdy. I had an issue with chicken. I did good. I have an issue with throwing away food because I'm scared it went bad. I get that too. Like, they're always like, man, it's been longer than the required amount. Especially with chicken, you know, you always worry about with chicken. But I always feel for slimy, smelly, you know, that kind of stuff with chicken and meat. And sometimes you can tell you open it, you're like, oh man, this is bad. I do that all the time. I pull out, not all the time, but I pull out intentions to cook something and then I don't get to it. But now with the freeze dryer, this baby's been working overtime for me. So I just threw in some baby carrots that were about to go bad. I just diced them up in my dicer, threw them in this. So it's nice that I'm able to just kind of anything that's about to go bad, instead of being forced to try and come up with a way to use it or to can it up, I can throw it in the freeze dryer. It's really nice. So it wasn't bad though, Jennifer. Cleaning the pool today, Paul. My dad loves cleaning the pool. That's where we had a pool just so my dad could be out there. And he's like, oh, I'm cleaning it. He just wanted to be out there in the pool. But pools are nice. I like pools. We got a river down the street. It's super flooded right now, though, from all of the snow caps melting. So I meant to go down there and get some footage of it, because if you've seen me at the river before, there's like little creek that you can kind of cross without getting your toes wet and stuff. And that was just so much. There's whole trees floating down the river, you know, like it's not a little stream anymore, you know, but it's really cool. I love this time of year when the water is just like intense and just super flowing. Like, you don't get to see that, but this one time of year when everything's melting, and you can't really go and play in the rivers. Fishing's pretty much non-existent because everything's just moving so fast. There's not really good spots to sit and play or to fish. Like, they actually say stay out of the water at this time of year because it's so dangerous. There is some people, though, down in Missoula. We have like this bridge, and then the Bitterroot goes through it, or it's the Clark Fork. One of those two rivers goes through Missoula, and you have to go over a bridge a couple of times. And there's a walkway, and if you look over the walkway in the water, there's people surfing. Like, they have to be total experts to be in the water at this time of year, plus surfing it. I need to get some pictures and some footage of it. I haven't actually stood there and watched them. I've just seen them as I drive by. Like, are those guys surfing in Montana? It was quite a sight. But I need to get some footage of it because I do that, and I think it would be awesome to learn how to surf. Like, just to be able to be on that type of power of a wave. Just, I find nature so amazing. I find water so amazing, and so I love being around it. I'm glad that I'm around it. Pictures of that, though. Sorry if it cut out, it just loaded. But yeah, I need to get some pictures of that. Good morning, Chris. How are you? Oh, going to Baltimore. Okay. Decided somewhere the low cost of living. Yes. Seattle, I can imagine, is just as expensive as Montana. Well, good. That sounds like a great plan, Maggie. I'm excited for you. Good morning, Pat. You're great. You're great. Stop it. Can you dehydrate sweet potatoes? I believe you can. I just cooked up a bunch of butternut squash, all my squash that I had left over from last season that held up well in the garage over winter. I would cook one here and there, but I still had about, I'm going to say 7 that I needed to cook up. So I just threw them all in the oven, and I'm going to be making some butternut squash soup. But your sweet potatoes reminded me of the butternut squash soup. But I do believe that you can dehydrate sweet potatoes. Chris, she's in the group City Girl Homestead. She could answer that. She does a lot of dehydrating. CC Farm, hello, good morning. How are you? Sammy, I think the 3rd week in May, you can fish in the river here in Missoula. Okay, so the 3rd week of May. Yeah, so Sammy, you see how bad the rivers are. This is my 3rd spring here. And so we're still like experiencing learning Montana. One thing I love about Montana, it just seems like every day is different. Like, it's raining today. It was nice and gorgeous yesterday. The day before there was wind, and we had like the wind tornado with the leaves. The kids thought that was so cool. Good morning, Angela. How are you? I'm doing good. I'm feeling much better now that my migraine's gone. I popped some Tylenol PM, chugged a bunch of water, and went to bed and woke up like, I think 11 hours later. So I slept. I felt good. I don't know if it was this combination of needing sleep. I don't know where my migraines usually come from. Stress, I think. I haven't gotten one in a while, especially not one that's that bad that makes me throw up. So I used to get those all the time when I was working. So that was probably a combination of being dehydrated and stressed when I was line cooking. So I was working 2 jobs, line cooking in the morning and an evening, 5 days a week. I tried to get 1 solid day off between the 2 jobs and have Thursday off or something, but I am feeling better. Sorry, I am feeling much better. My migraine's gone. I chugged more water this morning before my coffee, and now I'm drinking coffee. So good morning, Angela. I dehydrated tons of sweet potatoes. Yes, so Chris does. So Chris, did you tell us how to do it? Oh yeah, she's telling us here. Okay, I just need to read more. I need to cook up my pumpkins. Thanks for the reminder. You're welcome. I think with the butternut squash, I'm going to make butternut squash and apple soup. Like, that's really good. I forget how much I love butternut squash soup till I make it, and I'm like, oh, I love it. I'm at my daughter's craft show. Wish us luck. She's so nervous. Oh, will you remind me of your daughter's name? But you totally got this. She's the painter, right? Oh my gosh, she's going to do so good. I love craft shows. They're so exciting. My mom used to be a sewer and a painter back in the day, so her and her best friend would do craft shows, and I remember sitting in the chair like, oh yeah, I had to help her set up, help her take down. I would enjoy that more now as an adult. I think that I would enjoy craft shows and talking to people now. As a kid, it's kind of like, but it's her stuff that she's selling, so that's also different. If we would have had stuff up there that we were making and trying to sell, I think that it would be a little different. All right, City Girl says I grind up them and use them for pies later. Okay, do you dehydrate? Do you shred them? I filled an entire bottle with jelly, grind up sweet potatoes, ground it up. Okay, so you just okay. So for the sweet potato dehydrating, do you shred them or cube them? How do you put them into the dehydrator? And then you grind them up. So how do you do that? Hey, Sherry, welcome. Pamela, good morning. You sent me a message on Facebook. Okay, thank you. I will look that up later. Also, I broke my phone again. my screen's down. I mean, I didn't technically break it. I was letting my son play some games and he tripped over a toy and it broke. But you guys like not want to tell your husband when your kids accidentally do something, because like, you know, they break stuff a lot, and I just feel like I feel bad that they're always getting onto you for breaking stuff, but they are always breaking stuff. So I kind of took the fall for that, which I don't know. My mom did that a lot growing up. She would cover for us for my dad to keep our dad from getting angry at us, you know. And I don't know how I feel about that, because that messes up the marriage relationship, you guys not being honest with each other and, you know, going behind people's backs and stuff like that. And I know, kind of a random subject, but I don't know, I feel kind of bad not telling my husband that I did it instead of him, because he was, you know, mad, because those things are expensive and he has to replace them. And I don't know, I guess the factory ones, the replacement ones aren't as tough. So I'm on his phone right now, but I'm just like, I didn't want Conrad to get in trouble anymore, you know. But then I feel bad for not being honest with him. Let's see, Jennifer says, I cooked it in the crock pot till they were done. I didn't get to freeze it for a few days. I was concerned it went bad before it goes in. Oh, I'm sure it was fine, especially cooked in a couple of days. I'm sure it'll be fine. I do that all the time. I'll cook a roast and just kind of like keep it in the crock pot and put it in the fridge and then deal with it in a couple of days if I don't. The cooking at least gives you like, if you're worried that the raw is going to be bad, cooking it, and then that gives you a couple more days before you got to do it again. You got to deal with it again, you know. I used to suffer bad headaches before I was diagnosed with Charia malformation. I'm sorry if I pronounced that, probably did. Charia, and had to have brain surgery. Jeez. Man. Well, I hope that's better. Maya, right? Maya. Yes, she paints. Well, Maya, I think you're going to do great there. Good luck. Make sure you keep us updated, Angela, on how she did. I've had migraines that last up to 10 days. Oh my gosh. How do you survive that? Like, I feel like I have a couple of hours with a migraine and I can't do it, especially the ones that like make you puke and just the lights hurt, sounds hurt. Like, how do people function while they have those? I don't understand. I used to work with a girl who had constant migraines, and she could tell that she would say, I have a migraine today. So I would make sure to try and be as non-talky as I can towards her, you know. But I can't drive when I have these kind of headaches. I can't cook, you know, I can't do anything. I don't know how, 10 days? Like, how do you survive that? You puree them. Okay, so you cook them, puree them, then dehydrate them. I gotcha. Yes, Montana is crazy for weather. Do you celebrate Cinco de Mayo yesterday? I did not. I was going to make Chinese food for dinner, but then I got a headache. I'm sure Missoula probably has all kinds of like food trucks and everything to celebrate Cinco de Mayo. But we didn't really do that. Yeah, did anybody else though? I saw one person on here made on the Facebook. She made tacos with refried beans and rice. I'm like, oh, that does look pretty good. Hello, Beverly. How are you? Make sure you thumbs this up. I haven't said that yet. Thumbs up if you're in here. I can't tell how many thumbs ups I have. It looks like we have 29 people in here though, so that's good. Hey, Scott, welcome. I haven't seen some of you guys in a live before, so welcome to the live. It's nice to meet ya. I do these every once in a while. I try and do them Friday nights where I'm cooking up something either I have never made before, or that's a little tricky, or I'm just craving. Like, I'm making probably, excuse me. Hey, I was looking for these. I was like, I know I put extra cartons stuffed on canning jars somewhere. They're here on my potatoes. Okay, well, now I know what those are. Now I forgot what I was talking about. Oh, cooking. I was going to cook crab ragoons, but I had egg roll wrappers, so I was going to do like egg roll crab ragoons, and then orange chicken and vegetable chow mein. So that's still on the list because I still have everything for it. I had it all laid out and everything last night, and I'm just like, I can't do this. I couldn't imagine imagining talking to you guys, trying to do that, plus trying to focus on frying food. And had a migraine. I was like, eh. So I'm so glad that you guys understand. I had to call into my shift last night, you know, because I was going to do a live. Okay, Chris says she bakes them, then purees them, then dehydrates them, then grind them up. Thank you, Chris, for explaining that step by step. That is awesome. Okay. So you could probably do that with the butternut squash. Like I just cooked up a bunch of butternut squash. I still have it in the shell. I didn't cut it or cube it or anything. I just roasted it whole, threw it in my oven, just threw it in there. And then I'm going to de-seed it and everything now that it's cooled down. What? You don't want from me? Are you out of food? It's just because I'm on the floor. So I'm on their level, you know, so they're extra clingy or affectionate, maybe. Okay. Our little dog has seizures when he eats dog food, so he eats sweet potatoes. Oh, interesting. Poor little guy. Does he watch these replays? Maybe you did just kind of tell the hubby. Maybe this will lighten the blow. No, he does not. Actually, he does not watch my videos or my replays. He used to watch them because he was editing to them, but he edited to them. He edited, dang it. Because he used to edit them for me. So he would watch them as because I was filming them, but now I do all the editing, the posting, everything. So I show him one if I'm like, husband, look what I did, or husband, look at this scene, and I'll show him that, but he doesn't really sit and watch, and he definitely doesn't rewatch my lives. So I think I'm good a little bit. He won't know, but it sucks, but you just learn to, yeah. Always great tips and helps. Oh, thank you, Lisa. I appreciate that. I just kind of ramble and sharing what I've experienced, you know. See, Sammy, we and green chili. Tamales, enchiladas, and green chili. That sounds fantastic. I've never made homemade tamales before, but I want to. What intimidates me the most about homemade tamales that keeps me from doing it is like the cooking process. So I don't have a steamer. And I know you got to like put them up in a steam basket and let the steam cook them. So that kind of what has stopped me from attempting to make tamales. I have the corn husks. I have the masa flour. That's what you use, right? And I just haven't attempted them yet because I'm intimidated by that part. So I just need to get over it and just do it. So that happens to the best of us, guys. If you get intimidated to try a new recipe, like it happens to all of us. We're like, I guess and then once you do it, you're like, oh, that wasn't so bad. I could do that, you know? Oh, Marcia, good morning. But Sammy, that all sounds delicious. Are you the cook in your family? I think you just ratted Conrad out if your husband watches this. I know, but he doesn't watch it, so we're good. When you do that, you can rehydrate for pies and even baby food, whatever. I went through a ton of it, thinking of emptying some of my canned ones into dehydrated room for fresh coming up this year. That's a good idea. Like with this freeze dryer, I love this freeze dryer. I've been putting, oh, hold on, guys. Let me refresh my coffee, and I'm gonna go get my bag of goodies. Here, come, just look at my applesauce right quick. Oh, spilling my coffee. Okay. Does anybody else like sitting on the floor? I like sitting on the floor. Okay. Hi. I'm back. Have you guys tried bacon and peanut butter sandwich? It's so good. I have not, but isn't that an Elvis thing? Bacon, peanut butter, banana. You can do it in the Instapot. Oh, you can cook tamales in the Instapot? Man, mind blown. All right, so I got diced colored peppers. Now, what I've been doing to portion these, because I still have some room on the top. It stopped about right here. But I've been taking a quart and measuring the peppers in there or whatever, and then pouring it into my Mylar. So that way, whenever it comes out of the Mylar and I keep it in a quart jar, I know that this will fit and I won't have too much, or I'll have to keep it in two separate ones. Those who freeze dry, do you think that's a good idea? Or would it be better just to fill all this up and maybe use 2 jars? But these are that container of diced colored peppers I got from the food bank. So I got that freeze dried. And then a bunch of that parsley. Angela, you were so right about freeze drying this parsley versus dehydrating it. Like it is, I don't know why having fresh parsley just makes me happy, but it does. Like just be able to open it and smell it. Just parsley and herbs add such tremendous flavor to stuff. Like even parsley, it's kind of just a generic one. But when I worked in the restaurant, we put parsley on everything because it just adds that pop of color. It adds a little freshness to it. So I was excited to get lots of parsley. So I have 3, what are these? I don't know the size of these bags. 3 of these size bags of parsley plus a quart size one. And then banana powder, from this case of bananas, I freeze dried. I freeze dried them and then turned them all into powder. And I got a lot of banana powder. So I figured I could just use these pretty much for anything. Here's another parsley. Use it for whatever you would use mashed bananas for, you know. So I could mix those up, add them to my pancakes, make muffins out of them, use them for smoothies. Just could have put a couple of spoonfuls of dehydrated or freeze-dried banana powder into the smoothies. You got a banana for your smoothie. Okay. How's my mom? Mom is doing okay. She is back home. I mean, she doesn't have the support back home, guys. She doesn't have any way to get anywhere without driving herself, which is just super dangerous. She's gotten headaches all the time. She doesn't have the right food there. I sent her with a bunch of food. She's gone through it, some of it, but I'm freeze drying more. Like some of this, I'm freeze drying more beef stew and tomato soup for her. It's in there. I actually got tomato soup in the freezer right now. Let my freeze dryer take a break. She's been going for like 2 days straight, so let her take a break. But she's doing okay. She got her doctor's appointment set up a month from when she got there, which I'm like, Mom, you should have been like, hey, it's kind of an emergency, you know. She's like, a lady on the phone wanted to know everything that was wrong with me, and that's not her business. I'm like, oh, Mom, that is her business. Like, she's trying to get you set up to know what to tell the doctor to get it situated. Well, I'm not going through it all again, you know, just parent stuff, right? As they get older, they get defiant and just not want to deal with people and do what they have to do. Maybe that's just my experience with my mom, but I was like, well, Mom, you got to tell her this stuff. I was like, I really wish she would let me have power of attorney when she was here, because that's stuff where I can call. I know what's going on with her. I can tell them what's going on. I have no problem telling them how many times I need to tell them what's going on with her if that's what's going to help get her fixed, you know. But she's like, I just ended up hanging up. I was so mad. They want me to do their job for them. Like, oh, Mom. Like, so it's hard. I mean, if I'm being straight up with you guys, I honestly feel like I'm going to lose my mom this year. I really do, because she's so bad. She's to the point where she really needs those surgeries, and you know, she couldn't stay here any longer, and you know, she had to go home, and I'm trying to get her here. We're trying to get like an assistant living set up so she can be there somewhere close, but that takes a long time. But it's worth the process. So that's what I'm trying to do with her. I mean, she's making it. She's just kind of like, I don't know what to eat. That's her biggest thing with her food, is she doesn't know what to eat. When she was here, she ate whatever I put in front of her. Oh, okay. And she ate it. You know, so there she literally has to feed herself, and she only has what food she has there, which is cheap, non-diabetic friendly food. And she's struggling, you know, which is hard because I can't help her anymore. Like, I want to go visit her and be able to stay like a week with her, and I could get her set up there, but it's just not feasible for me to be gone from the house for a week. I can't bring the kids there. The kids don't have any place to stay there because she's got a lot of stuff. So the kids don't have any place to stay there. They would have to stay at another relative's while I'm there helping her. But so she's doing the best she can. It's just hard to watch, and I'm trying to be positive about it, but it just doesn't seem good, you know. I feel like she's just given up, and it's easier for her just to do what she's been doing and go when she goes, instead of trying to fight and get better, you know, because diabetes is hard, and seeing her go through that was like, wow. Definitely made me never want to go through it, and you know, start watching myself, because I don't want my kids to go through what I was going through to try and help her. Sorry, the cats are fighting out there. So I mean, it is what it is. She's okay. She's there. She's trying. We're talking about every other day. She has set up an appointment, you know, but her telling me about that just made me frustrated for her. And like, that's where I could call and make the appointment for her, and I could have done all that, and then I would just tell her when her appointment is, and she just has to show up, you know. So I do try and revisit that. She just, her partner has some say in the power of attorney and is not wanting me to have it. So, which is frustrating when you're also fighting against someone else who doesn't see the bigger picture, you know. Anyway, enough about that. So she's good. Thank you for asking. We'll just taking it day by day, you know. Let's see, I want to freeze dry this pumpkin. I was planning to add eggs and seasoning to make an instant pie filling. I love that. Do you maybe do some plain for baby food? That is a good idea. See, I love these groups. We all just bounce ideas back and forth for each other. I have that butter, that freeze dried butter too from, oh, what are they called? Osco Farms. I don't know. I don't have it in front of me, but there's freeze dried butter. I figured that you could add that to something afterwards, and then it would be a part of it. Hi, Gideon. Are you awake? Yeah. Hold on. You go find someone to do. What time is it? 6:40. Yeah, you can go snuggle with Dad. I always got to snuggle with Dad when they first get up. He can handle all that body heat. I'm just like, oh, too many kids here. Okay. Good morning, Rhonda. How are you? When you cook them, do it in the Instant Pot. Cook them about an hour to an hour and a half. Thank you, Siami. Well, when I make tamales, it'll be dedicated to you for helping me through my apprehensive of cooking them, because I have one of the big Instant Pots too. Paul, bring your mom to stay with you. I do. She stayed with me for 2 months, but the landlord is not letting any other person in the house, like on the lease. So she does not want mom here. There's more to that. There's more into that as to why she doesn't want mom living here that I'm not really going to go into, more personal matters. But so she can't stay with me, and the cost of living here in Missoula is insane, and the waiting list for apartments is insane, and like the budget friendly apartments are still like $800 a month for a 1-bedroom, and it's absolutely ridiculous. So her having her own place here is not feasible. And then we were talking about doing the homes, you know what I'm talking about, the care homes. But another thing, that's a long process. A lot of people waiting for that. Good morning, Carmen. They do feel like you're the parent as they get older. They really do, like mother. Like I don't know what happens. Maybe that'll be me when I get older, you know. Corin says, with hardships comes ease. Hang in there. Thank you, Maggie. I appreciate that. And it was hard, but it was great having her here. Like we had a lot of good talks. You know, it was hard having not only an extra person to take care of, but a diabetic and she has migraines all the time. You know, we had to take her to the emergency room a couple of times. She had tons of doctor's appointments to go to, which worked because we homeschool and I do YouTube for my job. So that way it's nice that I have the flexibility of, you know, I can, okay, we got to take Nana to the doctor. I can move the kids' school to this afternoon. Or, okay, I can take a break from doing the channel today because we ended up having to do this or that, you know? So it's nice that I have the way that my life I've worked it, I guess, where I have a home job and homeschooling, that we can do that. You know, pros and cons of doing all that stuff from home. But so anyway, it was nice having her here. I mean, it's nice having extra time not having her here as well, to be honest, but I do miss her, and I feel better when she's here because I know she's getting taken care of, you know, and it's just one more thing to do, which to me it's not that big of a deal. I'd rather me take care of my mom and have that extra stress on me to know that she's taken care of and that she's, you know, healthy, versus me not having the burden of having to take care of her and she's just at home because I know what she's like, and she can't do this by herself. And so I feel like I've sent her away to die. And it's hard because there's nothing I can do. I can't move there. I can't move her here. She can't stay here. She's got life there. It's just like there's literally nothing we can do about it. Oh, thank you, Carmen. I appreciate that. I know how you feel, Carolina. Hugs. Oh, thank you, Rona. I appreciate that. Sometimes that's all you need, is just to be able to talk about it and have people who understand and can empathize. That's why I love my channel. I really do. There's so many people out there that I would not have met, I think, in my personal life if it wasn't for here. Like having this talk about diabetes, I mean, I probably would have found someone to eventually talk to it about, but I haven't told any of my friends around here about it. Oh, my one friend, I talk to her a lot. So she knows about it, and I had a breakdown with her. There's only a couple of people that I cry in front of. Like, I'm just not a crier. It takes a lot to make me cry. I know there's some of those people who are super emotional, where if they're mad, they cry. If they're sad, they cry. If they're happy, they cry, and that's okay. I'm glad that they have that freedom to cry. My dad was military growing up, so he was very get a hold of your emotions. Don't talk to me until you have that under control. Don't need you crying in my face, kind of thing. So I learned to toughen up, and I saw crying as a weakness growing up. Now I don't feel that way anymore. And I know that crying's perfectly normal and it's good for you, but it still takes a lot for me to get to that point. And I only have a few people, a couple of aunts and stuff, and my one friend that I actually feel comfortable crying in front of, or I didn't have a choice. I just started crying, but it does take a lot for me to do that. And I don't know why I started talking about crying. Okay, Chris says, sometimes we have to let our parents do what they do. Tom and I both have diabetes. We need to do better too. It is hard. It is hard. And I know it's hard. They're an adult, you got to let your parents do what they want. Kind of like when you have like kids like are in their 20s, they're going to make dumb choices, but they have to, to learn, and you can't control every single part of it. That's part of life, which is hard as being a parent or as being a kid, a daughter, watching your parents go through that. I guess the best you can take from that is just learn for yourself. I have an older brother, so I'm always been learn from other people. I'll see him make a mistake and get in trouble, be like, oof, I better not do that. And I've never done that because I learned from other people. I watch at work when I was working on the line and I was new. I would watch other people, and if the manager got onto them for something, I'd be like, oh, we can't do that here, or oh, they can do that here. So observing things and learning from them is definitely. Does my phone keep going? Is the connection going in and out? I see it loading. Sorry about that. Make sure you thumbs up if you're here, guys. My mom at the end had old timers. It was hard for us. She did not. Oh, all timers probably. Old timers fits too, though. It was not hard for us. It was hard for us. She did not know us at the end. Oh, Paul. I feel like my mom's on that way too, to like dementia. Because like when she had her stroke. She had it because she has a clot in her neck, right? So which led to a stroke, which led to a heart attack, all in the same moment. She was here for like 6 or 7 days, and then that happened to her. And that's when we discovered all this stuff that's really going on with her from the doctors here. And I was a part of that, and watching her go through that stroke. Like it happened overnight, and then she went to the hospital, and she was in the hospital all day, kind of sleeping, wasn't really awake or anything. And then that next morning, I got there at like 10 a.m. and she was hysterical. She was completely out of it, thought that the doctors were there to like take her away, say she would never snitch on anybody. Imagining hearing my dad, which is her ex, in the hallway be like, I know he's out there. Jeez, like it was, I almost lost it at that point, seeing mom like that, because that was very hard. But I was able to talk to her and help that I knew her, and I would be like, no, mom, it's okay. They're on their way, da, da, da. And I was able to calm her down until she came out of that. And luckily, she didn't have any permanent damage. She does have memory problems, and you could tell her something, and then she'll ask the same question a couple of minutes later, or it could be up to like 20 minutes later. And then I just make sure I answer the same question. It's practice for my patience. But I do feel like she's kind of on that way too, where when she was having her stroke, she didn't recognize me and she couldn't talk, and it was crazy to watch and very hard. So I can imagine that, Paul, that would be so hard to go visit your mom and who are you? Wow. That would be very hard. I've only seen that kind of stuff in movies. I've never had to experience that in real life. Oh, good morning, beautiful. Good morning, Teresa. How are you? Good morning, my amiga. How are you? See, Sammy says I'm taking care of my grandma because she's housebound and I do a lot of cooking, but she shares the cooking responsibility. But I'm trying to fix us healthier food because my mom has a head injury. Dang. And diabetes. Well, that's good of you to be able to help take care of them, like just to help do it all together. And that's one thing, if you can all do it together as a family, that makes it so much better, Okay, I'm off for the morning. Oh, thank you, Paul, for chatting with us. I appreciate it. That's where your migraine came from. Yeah, from the stress of my life. When I moved away, I was always stressed that she was wasn't being taken care of the way that I can. And that's how I feel, Sammy. I just feel like I know she's not getting taken care of the way that I can take care of her. And to me, it wasn't a burden to take care of her. I felt better having her in my house, having her in my room where I can go check on her whenever I want. If she's in pain, someone is there to instantly help her with her shots, to help her with her medicine, and to just put it in the containers for her and be like, all right, mom, it's time for your medicine, or even she was getting to the point where she's like, oh, I need to take my medicine. I'm like, good job, mom, so she was getting there and she could feel the difference of having her diabetes under control and taking her medicine, how it was making her feel. I'm like, you have got to take your pills, mom. I know it's a lot, but there's a reason you take these, and you have got to take your insulin. And she was feeling really good before she went back. So I'm hoping that carries through, but she's lived in that house for 10 years with the same person, living the same day-to-day life. And there's no way she's not going to go back to that. There's just, you don't change your environment, nothing's going to change. And she's got a pretty bad environment. And that's my goal, is to get her out of that. But there's only so much you can do, That's why I feel like I'm not going to be able to get her out, and it's going to take her. Her life is going to consume her. Let's see. Teresa says, I have type 1.5. It is difficult to handle on your own. You're a blessing for your mom. Oh, thank you. But I'm no longer here for my mom too. So that kind of, I'm still sending her food. Like, I'm making her food, freeze drying it and sending it to her, but that's not quite the same, Wait till you get to the point where your kids are getting out on their own and you need to be there for them, and your parents are dying at the same time. Oh, great. Look forward to it. Thanks, Chris. Oh, hey, John. I'm sure it is stress, and it's so funny how your different stages in life have completely different stress levels. And the things that you stressed about when you were a kid, you're like, man, I wasted all that energy stressing on that, when who cares? Especially in high school, like all the drama, all the he said, she said, like none of that matters in the end. But when you're in high school, when you're in school, that is your day-to-day life. That's what you stress about. Carmen says, I have works because I have to take care of myself, and when I go to the doctors, my sugar's too high or something, or too low, and I'm not doing anything. Oh, that's hard, Carmen. So it just randomly gets high or gets low without you eating anything. Oh, thank you, Teresa. Good vibes. Good morning. Good morning, Chloe and Sophia. Hope the coffee is good this morning. It's very good. Kirkland, bless you and your family. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I got my coffee too. Important stuff. It is important. Ever since I've had strokes, my memory has been off. I think that's what it was the strokes. And that's why I didn't know if dementia was coming, or dementia. Alzheimer's was coming, because, but it could have been the stroke that started it, This is her second stroke. So I've had diabetes, and it's so much work and control. I finally got it regulated with pills, but it was not overnight. My mother also had it and died with complications over time. It is just horrible, isn't it? I never really realized how bad diabetes was until I've been thrown into not curing, but helping a diabetic, because there's can't really cure diabetes. You can manage it, but they're trying to, I guess, help manage trying to help my mom manage her diabetes, so it definitely makes me not want to have it. Like, I quit having sugar in my coffee 2 years ago, and then I quit drinking artificial sugar in it a year ago, because the artificial sugar it affected my mood. Like, it made me mean. It made me feel aggravated and just like I don't know, I was so quick to get angry. And I was like, I think it's the sugar. I don't know, like, because I would not have it for a little bit, and then I would have, like, I would go out to McDonald's and get one of those sugar-free iced coffees, and I couldn't even finish it because just as soon as it hit my stomach, it made me feel agitated. Like, I don't know. So I quit having artificial sweetener like Splenda, anything like that, the sugar-free vanilla syrups. I don't do those anymore. I just do straight cream. I'm not really much of a bread person, so I don't really like gorge out on bread, pasta. So, but mine's more of I don't eat for a long period of time, and then I eat a lot. So that's that's probably my biggest food problem. And then I'm trying to cook more healthy meals, so I do that as well. But still, like my mother-in-law, she likes to bring home chicken nuggets, pizza, and have them in the freezer, taquitos, things like that. So if there's a night I don't feel like cooking, then I can just break out one of those, which is a nice option. But I don't buy that stuff because I don't want those in my house, because I know we'll use them, and I'm trying to get away from that. So I'm trying to do more meal prepping that way, but that also helps her contribute, where she feels like she's contributing to the household as well. So it's tricky, but we don't do that too much. Most of the time it's my cooking, and I try and cook, the best that I can and give out the best kind of portions. For those that know a bit about me, I really wish I'd gone to using cloth a long time ago. Using a cloth. What do you mean by using a cloth, John? Fermented foods and drinks are amazing for the human body and our guts. Naturally, probiotics. Coffee is fermented. Oh, look at that. I'm doing healthy by drinking coffee. I do want to start kombucha, though. I had tried it before, and I was the only one drinking it, and it was a little too fermented, right? It had that too much of a zingy taste to it. So one person was telling me about second fermentations, and then that's better to do that. And then you add fruit purees to it. So I might try and do that again, because I really like, plus I was going through a lot of sugar, because with kombucha, you got to mix up sugar, right, for the SCOBY to eat. So I was going through a lot of regular sugar as well. And so I don't know, but I do want to find something like that, some kind of drink, because all of those, like even the LaCroix, like those are bad for you. Any kind of drink like that is just bad for you. Like aspartame's bad for you, and diet sodas. I'm a diet soda person for sure. I had to quit getting those because I would just drink those like they were coffee. Don't want that. Don't worry, honey. It just makes you stronger and makes you better for it. Thank you, Chris. Someone says, yeah, I'm glad someone can relate about how I feel about my parents, and I call her a parent because she raised me. But yeah, I do her shopping and preparing of food, and it's a relief that I know I get that, being taken care of. I feel the same way, Sammy. Diabetes really sucks. It really does, John. It's the best way you can put it. It sucks. Oh, good morning, Aunt Dinah. I do feel much better this morning. Thank you. I slept for 11 hours, took some Tylenol PM, slept, and then chugged some water this morning, and now I'm onto my coffee. And so far, so good. Make sure you like this video if you're just getting here. Latanya, good morning. How are you? I'm so happy for this live. Me too, John. Me too. I love these lives where we can just chit-chat about everyday life struggles, Megan, good morning from Canada. How are you? Good morning, Latoya. Good morning, T. Oh, pocket diapers. Okay. Yeah. How's everyone feeling today? I hope everyone is well. We're doing pretty well. It's raining here. There is a vintage market that's coming to town today that I wanted to take husband to in 3 hours. So it's raining a little bit, but the weather doesn't really stop us Montanans from about 7 a.m. Every time when the kids go up, the alarm would come off. They're like, what's that alarm? I'm like, oh, it's time for bed. But we just woke up. It took them a while to learn. I was just kidding. So now their alarm goes off and they'll be like, time for bed. It's funny. But yeah, so hopefully him and I can go to that. If not, my dad sent me $100 in gift cards, 50 to Home Depot, 50 to Lowe's for some plant starts. So that's exciting. So if it's raining too much where we can't go to the vintage market, then we'll just go plant hunting, because that sounds fun. And it'll get us motivation to get our garden up and running. I got a few of the raspberries trimmed out, but we want to put some cattle panels up against some T-posts that are there and use that for our beans and our peas to grow up. I just found some purple radishes at Ace Hardware seeds that looked pretty cool. So I'm like, oh, we can do some different types of radish seeds. My friend introduced me to radish kimchi, and it was really good. And that's a fermented food kimchi. So there was a radish one. I'm like, oh, this is actually really good. So I'm going to try and make some of that for her and I with our fresh radishes. And the farmer's market's opening today. It's the first day opening of the farmer's market. So it's going to be crazy busy. So I'm not going to go today. But there's one here in Missoula, and then there's one in Hamilton that's also really pretty. So we're going to do a day of going to farmers markets as well. That'll be fun. Good morning, Candy. How are you? Polly, good morning. Ah, Vanessa. Good morning. You got one. Kombucha is good. Fermented tea. Green tea and black tea are good too on their own. I do have a lot of green tea, and I just make up like a pitcher, right? And then I can always sweeten it with honey. I have lots of honey that I can use, and then just get us drinking tea. Betty Jan and Conrad have actually been drinking hot tea with lemon and honey. And they're like, Mama, you make me a cup of tea. I'm like, sure, I'll put on the kettle and I'll make them some tea. I mean, they got to have a lot of honey in theirs, but that's good for them to get used to the honey in there. So maybe I can do a kombucha green tea instead of a black tea. That would be good. I like green tea. Oh, you got your coffee, Pam? Good. Good morning. Sunday Sprinkles. That's a cute name. I'm happy you caught my live too. Welcome. The weather will make for less shoppers, more selection for you. Yes, that is true. The vintage one. And then husband's wife has an umbrella, and she was giving us umbrellas the other day on Goodwill. When we went to Goodwill with Mom, it was sprinkling a little bit, and I'm just like, real women don't use umbrellas, Before Julie, the chores I'm going to, so I need to go. Great coffee chat with you all, though. You too, Angela. Thank you for stopping by. Good luck with your chores. Good morning. It's going to be 80 degrees here today. Whoo, Debbie. That's a hot one. Are you going to the People's Market? It's it is even open today at Caras Park. I don't think I've gone to that. The People's Market. Is that the same as the Farmers Market? I know that Caras Park has the Farmers Market, but I haven't seen People's Market. Look at you, Sammy. I'm so glad I have another local here on my channel to help me through stuff, because this is our third year here and we don't really go to too many events. But Caras Park, like every Wednesday in the summer, they do food trucks and like Wednesday lunch at Caras Park, where they have all different types of food trucks there from a certain time, and people can go there and pick up lunch there. So that's really cool. Is the food bank giving out plants this year? Yes, they have a garden specifically growing for the food bank, and they actually have this program where you can rent a row where you grow a row of food that you're going to donate to the food bank. So we're going to be doing that as well, since we have our garden, maybe our beans or something that we do a lot of. And so yes, the food bank they have a whole greenhouse that they grow plants, and then they hand them out to people so you can grow your own food too. So that's really cool. Gotta wake up. We have a community trash day today. Got junk to get rid of. Get rid of that junk, Pam. Get in that garage. Get all that husband stuff out of it. No, just kidding. Husband won't even know it's missing. He got 4 of them tools anyway. Nice to see you guys got some stuff to prep for a canning collab due today. My live at 11. All right, well, I will try and make your live if I can, Chris. Thank you for stopping by. Another collaboration. Those are always fun. What sounds really good to me at the moment is a hand patties, extra greasy. Absolutely nothing hearty about it. A hamburger. Oh, hamburgers are so good, though. Hey, Aunt Rowdy, here in Dallas, Texas area, it's supposed to be 90 today. Yes, I agree. Way too early to be that hot. I completely agree. Well, I'm going to try and maybe tonight I'll cook my Chinese food that I have prepped and everything. I had my mother-in-law pick up some imitation crab. That was a first for her. So I described it to her and sent her to Walmart. I'm like, let's see what she comes back with. But she found it. They said they only had like huge packs. Like I was like, holy cow, I just needed a little one. So I got like 4 pounds of imitation crab now. I'm sure that'll freeze just fine though. Yeah, I love the farmer's market at Caras, but I was told it was a People's Market. Maybe it's the farmer's market, but it's got all kinds of veggies, and they had great lemonade and the loose caboose. Loose caboose is so good. That's a coffee area. If you guys don't know, a coffee shop. It is really good. And then they also have the cotton candy stand. We always see that at the farmers market there. And then they have a balloon stand where they use, balloon animals. The boys got a toy Tommy Pew Pew. Yeah, last time we went for a balloon. So that was always fun. They have it at Hamilton too. They have a balloon guy that walks around. So the kids always go there for the balloons. And if they're good, they'll get a bag of cotton candy to share. Like some people get their kids a huge bag per kid. I'm like, I'm not driving home with that. That's like when I'm dropping off at grandma's, you give them the cotton candy bags and you drop them off. Yeah, here you go, grandma, So that's fun, but they do have so much produce and they have some pretty good taco stands. They had, taco stands. I'm on tacos. Food stands. They also have, I don't know if this food truck is there, but they have a Mediterranean food truck locally that is so good. It makes shawarmas. Oh my gosh. Are you still in here, Maggie? Maggie, if you're in here, you need to eat a shawarma for me while you're in Saudi Arabia. I love shawarmas. It's like kind of, I'll describe them a little bit, kind of like a pita bread or a naan bread is the best I can describe the bread. And they usually have like this garlic herb, kind of like a mayonnaise, but it's really garlicky in there. And then French fries, pickles, and then shaved chicken, or they do lamb, and then hot sauce. And you roll it up and you eat it kind of like a burrito. Oh, it's so good. So good. I miss those so much. Ooh, it's supposed to be 91 degrees there, T. Woo. Hey, they had another one downtown by the X's. Oh, another farmer's market. Harry's is good, but they're all the way at the Y. Oh, I've never heard of Harry's. Is that a farmer's market too? We're supposed to get 91. See, I'm all the way. I'm in Florence, so I'm like the other way. Not that I should be telling people online where I live. My dad would yell at me for that. It's so hard though when you're like in a group with friends, you just want to talk with them, but you got to realize still that this is YouTube and anybody could be watching. It's a tough balance between sharing and not sharing, right? Like you want to have friends, but you also never know who's watching kind of thing. But so I'm still in the Missoula area. See, I'm going through my inventory jewelry, getting ready for my live show tonight. Awesome, Polly. I have no choppers. I really miss raw cucumber. Raw cucumber is really fun. You have no more choppers? That would suck. Not being able to chew on anything, It's the upper 60s today in Tennessee. Nadia, that's a pretty nice weather. You're going to be getting out and about. Out to lunch at Karis Park is so cool. Yes, that's what I was talking about. Out to lunch. Yes, that is really cool. I used to do Uber and DoorDash before I did YouTube. I did that for a while I was doing housekeeping. Well, I did DoorDash and Ubering, and then I moved on to housekeeping, and then I've moved on to YouTube. So I've had several different careers in the past 2 years that I've been in here. I started off working at the Applebee's there, but then I found out about Uber and DoorDash, and I'm like, see ya, Applebee's, because I was making way more money. I could pick my own times. And I love the fact that you can drive around because like Missoula is so beautiful. And then you can be going up to Rattlesnake and you get to see the views and all the houses up there. And then you got to go deliver something over to the Y and you get to see all the different areas there. And then sometimes you have to go deliver something to the Bonner area. So you're going up there and it's just, it seems like every day the mountains are different, the views are different, the city's different, and I just feel like every day you're living in a new environment and you get to see something pretty, and I really learned Missoula like the back of my hand by doing delivery drivings and Ubers. So I'm glad I did that for like a year. And then I started just doing housekeeping and I just straight up went to housekeeping because that was more money and more reliable than Uber. And that was when gas started to go up. So I didn't have to drive around as a lot. But I was still surprised at how many people are needing housekeepers with the economy and inflation like this. But it's a pretty, let's say, richy area. Some areas can be where there's some wealthy people who they don't care. They want their house cleaned, So I'm like, well, that works for me. All right, let's get back to it. It's 10 degrees here with fog and rain. 10 degrees is pretty cold. I do love fog, though. Do you ever get freezing fog? We get that sometimes here where the whole trees get covered in frost. So pretty. Beth says you should be able to talk to the doctors for appointments just with your mom telling them and signing a permission form for HIPAA. Okay. HIPAA law. HIPAA law. Okay, thank you, Beth. I will talk to her about that. And then just have her give me her doctor. I know I talked to her nurse for a while, her doctor's nurse for a while on the phone when she was here. So I'm pretty sure that she would remember me. Hopefully, they go talk to a lot of people. But that's a good idea. I will look into that. Thank you, Beth. I just started a piece of ginger. Just lay it down in the dirt. Ta-da! Oh, well, that's easy enough. Homegrown ginger, too. I wanted to try turmeric as well because I want to make that hot apple or that hot cider. Fire cider. You guys heard of fire cider? It's like ginger, turmeric, chilies, honey, lemon, and you ferment it, and then that's supposed to be like a super good cold booster, or you don't want to boost your cold fighter, to help keep you from getting cold, or if you're getting a cold, or if you feel like you're getting a cold, and then you would take a couple of shots of that and it's supposed to help. So ginger goes in that, so that would be really good. That is something on my list that I want to do. My grandma used to push peanuts against her gum to help her chew them. Interesting. So funny what we remember about our parents and grandparents. Without power of attorney, you can't make medical decisions for her, but with just her permission, she'd be able to TP, make appointments, and even talk to the doctors. Okay. That's good. I will look into that then. DoorDash is better in Butte, though. I'm sure. Butte's bigger than Missoula, isn't it? And Butte's only like two hours from here. I haven't done much time in Butte. I haven't gone to really the different cities and explored. We've gone to Hamilton, but we haven't really gone the other way. Like, we were looking for property up in the Drummond area, which would be about a 45-minute commute to Missoula, but we just want to be up in the mountains where there's no people, But Butte, I know I have a friend who does only gig work, like Uber, DoorDash. He does another carrying one where he can go across to different states and gets money that way. And he'll go to Butte, or he'll even go up to Spokane for the weekend and work up in Spokane and then come back. Spokane, Washington's about 4 hours from us. Shawarma sounds fantastic. It does. My dad's wanting to come visit me next month. Him and his wife are going to come visit, and I think we'll make shawarmas for when he's visiting. We ordered them from that food truck last time, and they were superb. But we're going to try and make them our own this year. So maybe we can get my dad on a channel, that'd be funny. You guys like my dad. He's where I get my wit from, he's sharp, it's good with the little, I don't know, words, right? He's good at jabbing you with those words really fast. He's quick-witted, We are going to be in the 90s in mid-Missouri. I can just feel the humidity with you saying that. I lived in Missouri for a long time, Hawkins Hill, and I don't miss it. Like, it's pretty. It does have all 4 seasons, except in the winter you get more ice than snow. But that humidity, and it starts so soon. Like, what is it, May? I mean, I guess it's time, but ugh. Like, we could never have a garden in Missouri because we just couldn't stand being outside for that long between the bugs and the humidity and the heat. It was just too much. Like, I'm like, I don't want to be outside taking care of animals or doing gardening work when it's this hot and there's like no relief from it. So you are a trooper. I'm sure do you have a big garden in there as well? After I get all the junk off my front porch, I might have to hire someone to clean it. I am getting too old. I feel that. Let them young whippersnappers do all that heavy cleaning, I get in there and do detailed cleaning on kitchens is my favorite thing to do. Or I'll help people like organize garages, I helped one lady organize her she shed. It was a he shed, but then her husband died. Let's see, this was spring of last year that I did this for her, and he had died that fall. So it had only been a couple of months, maybe 4 months. And she hadn't moved where he last put his boots. She hasn't moved any of his tools. She had left everything how it was, because they were married for like 30 years. Like, it was a long marriage, and he just all of a sudden got sick and died just like that, like within a couple of months. And I remember talking to her about that, and she was crying, and it was making me cry just thinking about, losing my husband, because I can see being married to my husband for a long time. Like, we have a great marriage. We have a great relationship. We just, truly love each other and want what's best for each other. And we're really good at talking things through, any kind of disagreements or family plans. We work great as a team. Like, I love it when he's home on the weekend because we can just knock we can just knock stuff out, working really good with one another, you know, with each other. So just hearing her talk about what kind of, like, that's the kind of marriage they had, and then he passed. And it was just really sad. But she was ready to get back out, get all this stuff that she doesn't need out of the way, and get her space back and start doing like her crafts and stuff again. So I was, you know, proud of her. And it was a nice weekend where I got to go up there. I spent 2 days with her organizing everything. And it's just amazing the people that you meet, you know. All right, sorry, chit-chat about there. Okay, Sonia. Hello, Sonia. Hello, and have a great weekend. You too, my friend. I love the sunflowers you put in there. I love sunflowers. If you make an immune booster, please videotape it. Absolutely, I will. I think it's supposed to sit for a while too, so I need to hurry up and get that going so it can sit over summer, so we'll have it for winter. Watching from Texas. How's the weather in Texas today, Sonia? It's raining here in Missoula. Tammy, I used to live in Anaconda, and me and my ex would do DoorDash together in Butte, and Butte isn't bigger than Missoula. Oh, okay. That's funny. Why is it better in Butte than in Missoula if it's just as big? I find that interesting. That's fun to do it together. That's another fun too. If you have a partner and you guys like doing DoorDash together, you're going out and doing it. They say, you know, it's only supposed to be one person, yada, yada, yada. But it's fun to be able, because then you can just sit in the car talking back and forth while you're working, you know. I know a lot of people that do that. I think that's fun. Ohio weather in May stinks. You wake up in the 40s and it's supposed to get up in the 70 days. Today is actually warm for Ohio. Wow. 70s is like my kind of weather, like 65, 70. Perfect. I do have a garden but animals, but I moved here from Arizona, so it's still better than there. I do not miss Arizona. That's so funny. See, Arizona, we lived there before Missouri. I was a kid though, so I wasn't into any gardening or anything, but the dry weather to me is a lot more manageable than the hot, humid weather from Missouri. That's so funny. It's like there's a region for everybody. You never know what everybody likes, you know? Carolina, you are blessed and really lucky to have a good man. I really am, Anne. I really am. He is, oh, I miss my husband so much. I'm sorry, Polly. He really is a good man, and I really lucked out finding him. Like, I did online dating. That's how we met, through online dating. And I went through a lot of online dates and a lot of first dates and met a lot of different guys. And my husband's one of a kind, that is for sure. And I'm like, I snatched him up so quick. And I'm like, where have you been? But he was stuck in a small town, Fredericktown, Missouri, stuck there in an abusive relationship. You know, not really abusive, but just unequal, right? Like, he did all the working. She stayed at home, played Warcraft. She had the 2 kids, but he would have to come home and feed them, you know, just from his perspective of the relationship. But my husband is the type of guy that doesn't like giving up, right? He doesn't like moving on from something. If he's committed to something, he wants to try and make that work the best he can, as long as he can, until he's like, all right, this is just legit not going to work. And then he moves on. So he was with her for 3 years, like trying to have a good relationship with her. And but they had been broken up and stuff. And then we met online, and he was about 2 hours. I was living in St. Charles. He was in Fredericktown. So he was about 2 hours from me. And I did not want to do any kind of long distance relationship. To me, 2 hours was too long because I was working 2 jobs. I didn't have that much time. So me to be able to commute back and forth for 2 hours, to hang out with him for an hour, to have to commute 2 hours back, you know, but he did all the commuting. He came up and saw me for the first couple of months. And he's just a really great guy. Like, he was like, wow, this is the best man I have met on here. And then we dated for a month, and then we broke up for a month because his dad died. And that was a really hard time for him. I had never met his dad. We had only been dating a month. And then we technically dated that second month, but we didn't see each other at all. He didn't come up and see me. He wouldn't let me go see him. We barely talked. And then we were supposed to go to Six Flags Fright Fest that Halloween. And on Halloween, he sent me this big old long text message breaking up with me, just because he's like, you know, I'm not in the right frame of mind right now. I'm just going through a lot of grief, and you deserve better. Someone who can give you all this attention. And that really sucked. Like, I've never had to experience hard grief like that, as I would yet. So it's hard for me to relate to that, because I've been very fortunate not to have anybody who's super important in my life die yet. I mean, eventually it's going to happen. So, and the best I've heard with talking with someone or handling someone who's going through grief is to just let them go, let them do what they need to. Like, you don't, if they want to talk about the person, talk about them. You know, you don't want to say, well, let's just not talk about that person. You want them to remember and stuff like that, you know. So yeah, so we broke up with, I remember just being like, man, I really liked that one. And he like raised the bar to all the other guys. I dated a guy after him just a couple of times. And then I was like, you know what? If he doesn't contact me by Thanksgiving, I'm going to send him a Thanksgiving text. And 2 days before Thanksgiving, husband sent me a text. You know, he's like, hey, how's it going? I was like, I'm doing fine. How are you? You know? And we chatted a little bit, and then he's like, so I have to ask, are you seeing anybody? And I'm like, no. He said, can I come see you this weekend? Like, yep. And that was in November. I moved in with him in February. I quit one of my jobs and transferred my other job. And so I was only having to work one job since I was moving in with somebody who else had a job who could support their half of it. And we like instantly went into combining incomes, combining responsibilities, like all of that, which now I was a bit hesitant to jump into getting tied up to somebody that soon, but it worked out, you know. But there's some people who still to this day are married and be like, this is my money, that is your money. What are your bills? Are you going to pay? What bills am I going to pay? You know, they're very different about their money. They each have their own, like, this is what I brought in, so this is my money. This is what you brought in, that's your money. And I just don't have that dynamic. I was like, this is our life. It's our money, you know. His money that he makes in his job goes towards this money that I make on my job goes towards that, you know, but we don't say this is my money or your money, you know. So, but some people that just works better for them. But yeah, and so I moved in with him in February, and we had a whole summer of rebuilding his dad's old mobile home on some property that he had in Missouri. And so we would spend the summer rebuilding it, gutting it out, redoing it, and he knows all that stuff. So I was pretty much just, what do you need me to do? Well, I need you to tear down this wall. Okay, you know. And so we had a big summer of rebuilding this trailer together. And that, to me, that's really what sealed the deal with husband and I, is because we worked so well as a team. He was good. Like, when I first told him, I'll help you fix it up, he's like, right, because he's never had a woman who's actually helped him, you know. So, but I was out there in my boots with a hammer, no AC in this trailer, bringing a crock pot of like soup or something so we can eat while we're working on the weekends. And I brought a pot of coffee so I could make coffee, you know. And then we were just working on redoing that place. And then I got pregnant over that summer. It was a good summer, you know. And then we got married in October, and we started living in the trailer. So we got out of having to pay rent in the house, and then we saved up and got a house eventually, and then we moved here. But yeah, our relationship kind of went a little fast just because we just knew, you know, as soon as we're both givers, and as soon as we're found someone else that is a giver, we're like, wow, this is what it's like to be with somebody who equally gives and cares as much as you do, you know. And so we got married pretty fast because we just felt it, you know. And he was ready. We actually wanted kids before I was ready to have kids. And then we decided, all right, let's start trying. And then it happened. I'm like, all right, well, let's get married, you know. And it worked out great. He did a really good proposal. I have a good engagement story, you know, where when he proposed to me. And, you know, we really lucked out, because there's a lot of people out there who don't have what I have and are in bad relationships, or the person tricked them, you know, and is not who they are, or they changed and they're not the same person anymore. And it happens, you know. And you know, I hope that doesn't happen with us. We're trying to keep up the communication, talking about anything that bothers us, you know. And it goes really well. So we're going to be 9 years married this year, and then we're wanting to do something for our 10-year, which will be next year. So anyway, sorry, that was a long jabber about my husband, because he is a good man, and I am very fortunate to have him. All right, Chloe and Sophie says, do you juice? I have a garden. I'd still be juicing, but whether I live out, weather doesn't permit it, for grocery prices are high, and I lack the options of stores. Oh, like you juice the fruit to make your own juice? Oh, thank you, Anne, and he's blessed and lucky to have you. Thank you. John says, thank you for making me feel comfortable talking about stuff that's hard to talk about health-wise. I absolutely love this channel and the group of people who who are in it, and I love all of you. Well, thank you, John. I absolutely love it as well. And it's important to talk about those hard subjects and those hard topics. And you know, that's what makes this nice, is that we can talk about this and get information from other people who are going through the same boat as us, you know. And I love my channel too. I love the group that has come from it. And I do feel like, you know, I'm going to chat with my friends for an hour. I don't feel like, oh, I got to go do a live and, you know, entertain the people. No, it's like, I'm bored. Let's go do a live and chat with some people, you know, because I do consider you guys my friends. See less miles and they actually tip better in Butte for some reason. Interesting. That's good to know, Sammy. Dolly says, good morning, Carolina. Our weather is crazy as always in Michigan. It's actually really nice outside today, getting out and getting our pool open. Yay! And ready for the grand monsters this summer. That's so fun. Kids have... Becky from Acre Homestead made an immune booster the other day out of garlic and turmeric. Yeah, she did a fire cider, I think last year. Can't hear. I think last year that made me think of it. So I'll have to do her video. The wind was horrible here in Missoula. I was worried about tornadoes. It was really bad. Like we had we have a bunch of leaves, so it's like a leaf tornado out here. I don't think there's ever been a tornado in Missoula, but you never know. It will be 7 months since my husband passed away tomorrow. I'm sorry, Polly. That's so sad. I would be, like, if I lost my husband, I would be devastated. I don't know. That's a big, like, because we just entwine our lives so much around each other, you know, like you really depend on your partner. When you find a good partner and you guys build your life together, like losing that partner, I couldn't imagine. Like, I don't know what I would do right now if I lost my husband, you know. Not only would I be stuck in the grief of losing him, but he's our backbone, you know. Anyway, I'm going to start crying if I think about losing my husband. And I don't cry. Tough it up, tough it up. Caroline, I'm craving one of your favorite food, wings. I love wings. I do too. I actually just pulled some out of my freezer to thaw because I want to make some wings. I'm going to try them in the Instapot. Missouri has no humidity compared to Southwest Florida. Oh, I believe that, Nina. Florida was pretty bad. I only lived there for a summer. Oof. And I went through a lot of online dating. It is awful. Like, I've had so many first time dates, like one date and that's it. Either they didn't like me or I didn't like them. Online dating is the worst, man. And they're like, hey, we're having a good conversation. And they're like, hey, send me a pic. Like, God dang it. Next. I liked that one too, but it was just for a pic, you know, or whatever. I don't think I'll never get married, guys. I love being single. I don't blame you. Being single is pretty great too. Like being able to not have to consult someone else, you know, and just being able to do about your own thing. Morning. Morning. Let's see. Sammy says, we didn't get tornadoes here in Missoula, at least. Anything can be classified as a tornado. You can come in. I'm just doing a live talking to people. My mother-in-law's up. Your husband is so handsome, Mama Bear. You guys are a cute couple. Aw, thank you. I think he's handsome too. I'm just like, how's this guy still single? He's handsome, good-looking, hard worker. He's just stuck in a bad relationship in a super small town. So I looked out. Such a beautiful couple. Oh, thank you, Sonia. Love you all. Going to get started today. Yeah, I need to get started too, guys. I need to get some breakfast going. I call us like family. I do think we're like a family too, guys. It really sucks some days. Oh, Polly, I'm so sorry. That would be hard. I feel you. I wish I could hug you. Big hug. Okay. Ruby says, hi, Caroline. I'm pretty sure your mama can make you power of attorney. My daughter is mine and makes all my medical decisions I'm not able to make. I know. It's just that she has a bit of a controlling partner and he doesn't like that idea because he will be out of the control, even though it's just like her medical decisions. I think he's more worried about the financial decisions. Not that they have anything, but it's hard when you have, like, my mom would be willing to do pretty much whatever I'd say, but there's that other person, you know, you gotta get through. Okay. Both my parents passed away in 2004, less than 3 months apart. My mom was 57 and dad was 59. Man, John, that is young. Sorry, that is hard. 3 months apart. Whew. Can't wait to see what you guys pick out for plants. Yes, it's going to be fun. It's just him and I going there, seeing what kind of plants. I was at Tractor Supply the other day looking at plants, and they were $5 a plant. Is that, like, I remember $4 last year, and I'm like, that is outrageous. And now it's $5 for one plant. Like, wow. Caroline, I honestly don't know a couple better than you guys. You really seem like a perfect match. Well, thank you. I think so too. Like I'm very lucky. Like I probably would have married a couple of my exes that I'm glad I didn't. It would not be working out the way it did here. And before my husband, I had a year of living by myself. Like I kind of went from living in my house to living in college to living with a roommate to living with guys, and I lived with them and live with them, like move out, live with them, move out. I just went from one to another, trying to find my place, find love pretty much. I was confusing what love really was, like attention versus love. Attention and affection is totally different too, and that's definitely something that I'm wanting to teach my kids more of by the time they get out, because by the time I left my family's house, my parents' house, I had no confidence, no self-awareness, no self-esteem, and no self-respect. They were just, my dad is a very dominant personality, and he kind of, made all the decisions, and there was no negotiating with him. There's no telling him how you feel. It was just his way or the highway, pretty much. And so it made me hard, cold, and not very empathetic to other people. And just, I had no boundaries, so I have developed that. So having that year of living by myself, dating, but not relying on men really helped out, because then I was able to be more picky and not just go with whatever man would give me attention. I was able to be like, that's kind of a red flag. I'm good, and then husband came along. So that worked out. But online dating, I couldn't even imagine doing it nowadays. That was before Tinder. I met him on, let's see, I did Plenty of Fish was the very first one I did, and then OkCupid is where I ended up meeting husband on. But now that was before Tinder was a big thing, but I probably would have been on that too, because I just, on all the online dates, I was on all the online apps trying to find a man. I felt like that's what I needed was, well, because I wanted that family lifestyle. I didn't want this kind of life with like canning and stuff. I had no idea I wanted to do into all this. This was my husband that introduced me into this, that made me love it. I wanted like the suburbs, white picket fence, 2.5 kids. Like that's the life that you're programmed to believe is the all-American dream. And it's not. I'd rather be out in the mountains canning and growing my own food, homeschooling my kids and deciding what they're exposed to, versus them just being forced exposed to society standards. Maybe if we had a better society standard, it would be different, but we don't. Okay, sorry, talking. When you lose someone close to you, it's like losing your identity. It's so hard, but life eventually grows around it. I feel that, and that's like how I feel when my Aunt Dinah lost her Mary. It just, they've been together for so long and been through so much, and then to lose your other half, and they had just retired too, and that's hard. Like being, okay, now I can enjoy life, die. That would suck. Relationships change over the years. Now with husband being ill, I take care of him. I still love him even though he isn't the same man I married. It's been 31 years. He proposed while drunk on a dance floor. Hey, at least that was a real proposal, because the truth comes out when you're drunk. That's funny. I had all bad picks for men. Ugh, I'm sorry. Men are a whole other species. They're definitely, women and men are two different species. That's for sure. It seems I end up getting stuck with the first guy I date every time I get signal. Yeah, don't be afraid to go through them. Like when I was dating husband, I went on a date, my first date with him, and then, well, no, okay, sorry. I went on a first date with another guy. His name was Raul. I went on a date with him, and I liked him. He didn't drink coffee, though. That was a big red flag for me. I'm like, you don't drink coffee? He took me to a coffee shop, but he bought a smoothie. I'm like, I don't know about this guy, but he was a really good hugger. Those hugs where you get a hug and they, like, oh, it's not one of those, hello, hi, little pat on the back one at all. This was a crush your bones hug. I'm like, oh, I like it. And then I went on my first date with husband, and we went to a coffee shop, and he drank coffee. I'm like, all right, this one's drinking coffee, and that's a whole nother story. He was like 15 minutes late to the date, but it was 2 hours away, so I was cutting him some slack. And then he said someone's hubcap flew off on the highway and hit his car, so he had to pull over. I'm like, well, that's an interesting story. I don't think that would be made up. So I believed him on the story. and we only sat and talked for like 45 minutes, and I did most of the talking. And then he went back home because he had to go to work. So he drove 2 hours back. That's what I was afraid of with long distance. You drive 2 hours to spend an hour together, to have to drive 2 hours back, right? Instead of getting 5 hours together if you had someone who was just close. So that was our first date. And then I went on a second date with Raul, and it was nice. You know, we had some dinner and stuff like that. It was just, it was a nice date. I would go on a date with him again, you know. And then I had my second date with husband, and that blew Raul out of the water. He picked me up when I was working at the Cheesecake Factory in St. Louis. He picked me up from work, and then we went out to eat at a pizza place in Kirkland. I don't remember the name of it, but whenever I order food when I'm on a date, I always see like what they order. Like if they order a beer, then I'll get a beer. If they order a soda, I'll get it. If not, I'll just get water, you know. Especially that time I was pretty healthy. I was losing weight during my time alone in my apartment when I was by myself. I hired a personal trainer, and I was just losing weight, feeling good. So I was watching more of what I eat then. So I probably had water. And he doesn't drink. My husband does not drink. He'll have like one cider and be woo. But his dad was a hardcore drinker, so he's very turned off about drinking. So that's good. So he's a very responsible guy when it comes to temptations that way, drinking and drugs and stuff. And then, yeah, so we went to the pizza place, and then we walked around for a bit. And that's when I first told him my name for Betty Jan. I was like, I have the name for my first daughter picked out, and it's Betty Jan. And he's like, Betty Jan, I like it. I'm like, oh, well, good, because that's going to be her name, you know, and that's her name. Yeah, and we ended up spending like, it ended up being like a 7-hour long date. We ended up walking around a park. We were just talking. I don't even remember what we were talking about. I wish I would have had a capture of that moment so I could relive it, you know. All I have is just my memory. But we sat at a park at Forest Park, and then there was a band playing. We sat, there happened to be an empty bench facing a lake. And I'm like, oh, he's going to touch me or put his hand on me, or in a good way, like hold my hand or something. But he was a gentleman. I didn't like it. I'm like, oh, I just want to hold your hand, you know. But yeah, and we ended up talking in the car next to my car. We talked in his car while it was raining for like an hour before we finally said goodbye. And he had a 2-hour drive home. But it was just really nice. And I'm like, wow, that was the best date I had ever been on. Oh, we ended up going to a Bailey's chocolate bar too. And he got a chocolate beer. I got a salted caramel martini, or salted caramel brownie martini, which it had bits of brownies in the martini, which I didn't really like. It's kind of weird chewing your drink, right? So that was kind of weird. I should have just got the beer, like a chocolate beer. And then we got a chocolate brownie with homemade cinnamon ice cream on top. Oh, it was so good. And we just shared that. And then we went and walked around the park, and it just blew all other guys out of the water. It really did. Like, I never contacted Raul again. I think we probably talked for like another week, and then we both got off the app, and he was like, would you like to go steady with me, is what he said. I'm like, oh, you're so cute. You want to go steady? And I was like, yeah, I do. And yeah, and then here we are. So that was nice. He was so yeah, so don't be afraid anyway to talk to multiple guys at once. And you know, you might get one of those psychos that'll be like, you're talking to other men. I'm like, dude, I've been talking to you for 5 minutes. I'm on a dating app. Yeah, I'm talking to other guys. What you got to offer, you know? I took care of my husband right to the end. He had cancer. Oh, Polly. I feel like that's something I would do if my husband would get sick or something. I always tell him, I'm like, if you get in an accident and you lose your legs, you better still have that face, you know? But I would take care of him too. Oh, well, guys, I got all these kids waking up. Hi, Conrad. Hey. Good morning. I'll be out there in a minute, okay? Okay. I'm gonna have to get some breakfast going. I definitely wanted to be in London, England at the moment. What's going on in London, England? Good morning, Nanny. I was about to get off here. I got married at 15, and we've been married 42 years. I started seeing him when I was 12. Wow, Robin, that's quite a story. I'm telling you, sometimes when you have that spark, you just know, you know. Being single can be really awesome. It really can be. It's very hard to take care of husband while he had cancer, and oh, I'm sure he did. Do you plan on doing another Temu haul? I like seeing the kitchen gadgets, like watching your reviews, like that you show how each item works. I'm actually not planning on doing any more Temu hauls. I watched another channel on them, and that they're actually not really a great company, but they wave a lot of money in your face as a creator to do the reviews for them. So that's kind of what got me. I mean, they paid my rent for a month doing those 5 videos. But it felt to me, the Temu hauls felt forced. Like, I like doing product reviews. I only pick products that I really need or that I think would go over well on the channel. Sometimes the products are a personal choice, like you're having to watch it because I wanted an electric bike. You know, I'm not really expecting my subscribers to go out and buy electric bikes. You know, that's more of I'm doing that for my job. You know, that's my perk for having my channel, is getting products like that. But Temu, it kind of felt like forced, because you had to pick out so many products, and I felt like I'm constantly having to force myself to pick out products, and just a lot of the stuff just doesn't hold up. And then I found out that it's kind of not the best company. So Temu, I'm probably not going to do any more of, but I do have other product reviews in the lineup. So sorry, I missed most of it. I'll watch the replay. Yes, Nanny, please watch the replay. Thank you guys for coming and hanging out with me this morning. I am going to try and still do that Chinese cooking live, maybe today. The rain kind of tampered off, so I'm going to get husband up. We're going to go to that vintage market. I am going to bring my camera, so hopefully we can see some good things, and you guys can see some good things as well. Once I get that edited. I always fumble on that word. But thanks for hanging out with me this morning. An hour and a half. That was a long one. Make sure you like this video for me. And guys, I will catch you at the next live. I hope you have a good weekend.